Is the first poem from Selma Sims. She recorded it with a friend, a drummer named Mr. Richburg. Selma is one of our members of Greenwood County Diversity. She has read for us before. She's a breast cancer survivor and began writing poetry in 2011 after starting her breast cancer treatment. She's been blessed with the opportunity to share her testimony and poetry in churches, on the radio, on Christian television, and in the prison ministry. We thank her for her service. Her poetry also inspired the first breast cancer awareness program at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. She went on to write poetry about stained glass windows. We don't have any of those poems today, but maybe at another time we can hear them. She has been invited to be a presenter at the museum and to share her poem, Lord, Lord, That Stained Glass Window. So we're really happy to have Selma with us today, and this first poem is recorded. I will play it now.
The rhythm of the drum. Have you ever wondered why the rhythm of the drum moves us so? Without movement, there is no rhythm. From the cutting of the tree, to the pulling of the skin across the face of the drum, to the swift movement of the hands that makes that powerful sound that moves the soul. This rhythm could be heard from shore to shore, from the auction block to the plantation, from the plantation to the fields, from the fields to the Underground Railroad, from the Underground Railroad to Emancipation Proclamation. Where there is movement, there is rhythm. Where there is rhythm, therein lies the beat of the drum. The rhythm continues. Phyllis Wheatley, a Boston slave, became the first African-American to publish a work. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. The Supreme Court rules Brown versus the Board of Education that school segregation is unconstitutional. The rhythm continues. Amanda Gore became the first young poet to read a poem at the presidential inauguration. Kamala Harris, the first female, the first Black, the first Asian American vice president. The 44th president of the United States, President Barack Obama, became the first African American president. The rhythm continues.
And now I invite Selma to do The Beauty of the Pew.
The Beauty of the Pew. In 1800, my great-great-grandmother sat in the beauty of the pew as she sent timber up for the generations to come. A father lifts his hands to the heavens as he cries out, Lord, have mercy on me, as he prays for his family to be blessed. A mother cradles her child as she sits on the slope in the curve of the pew that supports her praise as her child sleeps in God's grace. The children swing their feet from the pew as they daydream of the day that they will come before the altar in the presence of God and exchange marital vows and return to present their children to Christ. For from generation to generation, the chain has not been broken, for we have mourned, wept, rejoiced, and praised God from the beauty of the pew.
Thank you, Selma. I am going to open up for a couple of minutes if anyone wants to comment, to thank Selma for her poetry, to ask a question of her. So if you would like to speak.
Selma, this is Connie. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for that wonderful poem. I needed that today. Just before I came over, found out that one of my dearest friends passed away last night. And I considered not coming over to do this, but I'm so glad I did. And thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Selma, can I speak?
Yes.
Thank you. That was so meaningful and so powerful. And it makes me want to put you in touch with another drummer who does poems and drumming. His name is a man named Michael Mead. And I I was thinking of him because your drumming with your speech is just outstanding and powerful. So I'll connect with you later on that, but perhaps you would like to listen to his stories and his drumming. He speaks of a lot of things out of Africa. And so that would be a good in touch for you. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
When I was,
Janice.
Go ahead, Janice, and then Joseph afterwards.
Okay. I enjoyed both poems, but the rhythm of the drum evoked a lot of emotion from the drum beating to the rhythm of your words. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think Joseph wanted to speak too.
when I was 16, I'm 82 now. I went down to the Boule Rouge on West 17th Street in Manhattan, New York City. And there were drummers from Catherine Dunham's dance troupe, and the mambo was in vogue then. And I came with a young lady, and the drumming was so captivating that I forgot about the young lady, and she left with another guy.
That's a funny story, Joseph. Thank you. I see Vanetta's hand is up. After Vanetta, we will move on to the next poet.
Yes, Selma. My question simply is, what inspired you to write poetry?
In my travel through breast cancer, God just began to speak to me, and I would use poetry to make it through treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became a gift. I was standing at the window one morning when I was getting ready to have a treatment, and a beautiful poem just dropped in my spirit. And, I'm not a writer, so I was like, that was nice that I would think of that during treatment today. And they just kept coming. So I consider it just a blessing through my travel through cancer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Selma. Okay. We have a quote here on kindness. Annie Lennox. I will read it. Ask yourself, have you been kind today? Make kindness your daily modus operandi and change your world. Annie Lennox was one of my favorite singers back in the day. Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. One of my songs. And we can just spend half a minute to reflect on this beautiful portrait of a young woman.
And
This is in the exhibition I was telling you about at the Arts Center. Beautiful, beautiful.
oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it speaks of kindness. I think it's her parents there with their arms linked above her. And she just has this warm, trusting smile. Okay.